Hello there. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm Ryan in Singapore. Welcome to our mindfulness practice. Today's topic is about compassion, and it's interesting to think about compassion, and also, it's about impermanence and interconnectedness that we have with each other and even ourselves. So it's nice to change a little bit from pure raw mindfulness and to start looking at our connection with others. And I think without giving too much context, I'm just going to go ahead and read today's poem. So we are continuing the series on mindfulness and poetry, and today's poem is a poem that I haven't read out loud before. So I'm looking forward to sharing it with you. The name of today's poem is If You Knew by Ellen Bass. And this poem was written in 2007, so this is more recent than some of the poems that I've been reading. Especially more recent than Rumi, let's say. But it's good to kind of change it up that way. If you knew. What if you knew you'd be the last to touch someone? If you were taking tickets, for example, at the theater, tearing them, giving back the ragged stubs, you might take care to touch that palm. Brush your fingertips along the lifeline's crease. When a man pulls his wheeled suitcase too slowly through the airport, when the car in front of me doesn't signal, when the clerk at the pharmacy won't say thank you, I don't remember they're going to die. A friend told me she'd been with her aunt. They just had lunch, and the waiter, a young gay man with plum black eyes, joked as he served the coffee, kissed her aunt's powdered cheek when they left. Then they walked half a block, and her aunt dropped dead on the sidewalk. How close does the dragon's spume have to come? How wide does the crack in heaven have to split? What would people look like if we could see them as they are? Soaked in honey, stung and swollen, reckless, pinned against time. So thanks for listening. I liked this poem, and I think one of the things that it really reminds me is just the short amount of time that we have here, and that we never know how many moments we have to go. And I like, Shunryo Suzuki has written in Zen Mind, Beginner's Mind. Can we never take for granted that the next breath is coming? You never know. Can you relish this moment? Can you be aware in this moment? Can you feel yourself breathing? Can you recognize what it's like to be alive right now? Because we do never know how many more moments there are to come. And I just like that kind of perspective. If you are the one taking tickets at the movie theater, and you take the ticket out of someone else's hand, and if you had some kind of extra information to know that you would be the last person to touch that person, would you take some kind of additional care? And I think that's it's really interesting to think about that, because at least for me, it does change, right? It does make me go, oh, this moment is somehow more precious than other moments. And then it kind of makes me go, well, wait a minute, why is that? Why can't every moment be as precious? Why do I have to know that this might be the last moment? In fact, if you come to think of it, right? Every moment that you have with a stranger could be the very last moment that you come in contact with that person, right? I mean, how many strangers do we interact with each day? This may be although the first time you touch this person, it may also be the last. And it's interesting to think about this and the kind of the interconnectivity of the human experience, the impermanence, the fragility of life itself, the tiny blip of time that we spend on this earth that I think we don't often enough contemplate. That it's really easy to forget that we are mortal, and to know that these times that we have are precious. And and as I look through the names, right, here on the chat, right, there are times that I go, you know what, is this the last time that this person's going to join my meditation practice? And the other thing too is, if someone disappears, the chance of me knowing what happened is extremely small. So, I don't know. It's really kind of moving and special to spend time with another human being. And I think that that's something that we most of the time take for granted. So, this is part of the steps of compassion practice, right? So Kristen Neff from University of Austin explains compassion as a 3-step process. One is mindfulness, right? So the very first step is mindfulness, to be aware of what's going on, right? I mean, it's hard for us to appreciate something if we don't recognize first that it's happening, that it's here. So can we be mindful of what is our current opinion about things, how we are reacting to what's going on right now? The second step is common humanity. So recognizing that this experience that I'm having right now, this experience that other person's having, it is not entirely unique to them. I mean, I guess this is kind of the cool thing about mindfulness and non-judging, is that our experience, although unique to ourselves, like my experience, being me is completely different from being you, right? Like these two things are completely different, yet simultaneously they have so much similarity, so that 99.9% of my genetics is the same as yours, right? So the way that I experience my life is similar to you in many, many ways. And, not as similar to the way that a grasshopper experiences life, right? So even though the way that I experience sadness isn't exactly the same as you, that it does have a lot of similarities, and that's why we can make art. That's why that we can create something that moves another person, because of all of these similarities that we have. So recognizing that common humanity that we have, and then offering kindness. And I think that's really where the poem implies the kindness that we offer when we recognize that this might be, or this is, right? We get that special information in this poem fantasy, right? I see that this is the last moment that I have with this person. And so when I recognize that, there is something different and something more magical about this moment because of that. So maybe there's the ability to offer kindness instead of looking at the man who's wheeling his suitcase too slowly in the airport and getting angry, instead of honking the horn and being angry at the person in traffic who is slowing us down and making us later for the appointment that we're about to be late for? Can we recognize this common humanity, and can we offer kindness? So, thanks everybody. Thanks for listening to the poem. I'll read it once more at the end of our meditation practice, but let's go ahead and get into our meditation today. So get comfortable wherever you are. And maybe that means lying down today. Dropping into present moment awareness. So if you like, closing the eyes, if that's beneficial for you. Feeling the face, observing the muscles in the face. Observing the muscles in the shoulders. What do you find here? Is there tension? Is everything relaxed? Just opening, accepting how things are as best you can. This is me. This is the me that's here right now. This is the me that has arrived at my meditation practice today. There's no need for me to be different. There's no need for me to be better or more relaxed or more focused. Can I roll out the red carpet? Welcome me as I am in this moment. Welcome to this moment. Welcome to right now. Noticing that you're breathing. See if you can be aware of each and every breath, completely present in each microsecond of the moment. Feeling the shape of the body, the shape of the abdomen in each moment as you breathe. Knowing that I am alive right now. The future is a mystery. What happens even 1 minute from now is unknown to me. But I can relish in this moment, in the present. And let's shift towards compassion. So, recognizing that I have similarities with every single human being on this planet. That what I experience, although unique, is not entirely unique. So can I first open my arms, open my heart to myself, to know that right now is the only moment I have. So can I love myself right now? There's no need to wait until I'm perfect. If I wait until I'm perfect, I'm going to be waiting forever. So right now is the moment, the time, to offer compassion to myself. To offer unconditional love. To know that I can be there for myself no matter what happens. That I can be there to pick myself up after I've fallen. To say to myself, I love you just the way you are. As Shunryu Suzuki says, and I paraphrase, you're perfect just the way you are, and you could use a little improvement. So know that we are perfectly imperfect in this moment and can offer our love to ourselves. To constantly be better, yet lovingly and gently accept ourselves as we are. So if you feel comfortable to do so, you can repeat after me a few phrases to encourage compassion towards self. So repeating after me, may I be happy and contented. May I be happy and contented. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May I be healthy and whole, to whatever degree possible. May I be healthy and whole. May I be at peace. May I have ease of well-being. May I be at peace. May I be at ease. And so now I'll invite you to slowly let go of this object of self and see if you can bring into mind a stranger, someone that you met earlier today or yesterday, someone whom you've not yet made any opinions about. Could be the grocery store clerk or the person at the hotel lobby, or it could be someone that cut you off in traffic. Someone that you don't know, some stranger. That person in the airport walking too slowly. Recognize that this is a human being. And so I'd encourage you, as you do this practice, not to be ambiguous about it, to actually choose a real person and see if you can solidify the image of that person in your mind. And recognize that this is a human being. And 99.9% of this human being's makeup is similar to mine. And this person has experienced times of happiness and joy. This person has experienced times of sadness, of confusion, of anger, of difficulty, of suffering. And this person wishes to be free from suffering. Can I, in this moment, offer kindness to that person? To open my heart, to have an attitude of kindness, to cultivate this attitude of kindness towards this stranger. May she, he, they be happy and contented. May she, he, they be safe and protected, free from inner and outer harm. May she, he, they be healthy and whole to whatever degree is possible for them. May she, he, they be at peace. May they be at ease. So sometimes this compassion practice can cause some emotions to come up. So I'd encourage you now to allow that image of the stranger to dissolve into the background of your awareness. And let's take a deep breath, breathing in, breathing out. So let go of any visualization you had just had. See if you can come back to awareness of the breath, awareness of the body, feeling in each microsecond the changing of shape of the body as you breathe. And let's begin to draw our practice to its close. So I'll close practice with 3 rings of the bell. As the sound of the bell subsides, feel free to begin to move your body in any way you like and transition out of your period of meditation. Thanks for practicing with me. Thanks for being here with these other beautiful human beings who are soaked in honey, stung and swollen, reckless, and pinned against time. I'm looking at the chat. Say Mark asks for the poem of the title. The poem of the title. The title of the poem is "If You Knew," so I will write it in chat. By Ellen Bass. So, how did your practice go today? What did you notice? What happened in your compassion practice? What was your reaction to the poem? I'd say thanks. Thanks for sharing about Sybil has just kind of expressed the emotion that has come out through hearing this poem. So, what has this poem done for you today? What emotion has it brought up? What realizations may you have come to? Whatever's coming up for you, please feel free to write it in the chat. And while you're thinking about what to write, I'm going to go ahead and read the poem one more time. If You Knew by Ellen Bass. What if you knew you'd be the last to touch someone? If you were taking tickets, for example, at the theater, tearing them, giving back ragged stubs, you might take care to touch that palm. Brush your fingertips along the lifeline's crease. When a man pulls his wheeled suitcase too slowly through the airport, when the car in front of me doesn't signal, when the clerk at the pharmacy won't say thank you, I don't remember they're going to die. A friend told me she'd been with her aunt. They'd just had lunch, and the waiter, a young gay man with plum black eyes, joked as he served the coffee, kissed her aunt's powdered cheek when they left. Then they walked half a block, and her aunt dropped dead on the sidewalk. How close does the dragon's spume have to come? How wide does the crack in heaven have to split? What would people look like if we could see them as they are, soaked in honey, stung and swollen, reckless, pinned against time? Thank you, Caesar. Thanks, Sybil. Thanks, Cece. Caesar said, remember my mom before she died. Thanks for sharing. Jean says, grief came up for me today. I thought of my brother as he sat alone with my mother as she took her last breaths. Thanks for sharing. And thanks for being vulnerable enough to share the difficult things. You know, I think oftentimes we think of meditation as a balm to soothe our wounds, to make us feel happier or more relaxed or more comfortable. And maybe I'd be a more popular insight timer teacher if I did a lot of that. But I'm not true to my practice of mindfulness if we don't relish in every moment of life, whether it be a moment of happiness and joy, or whether it be a moment of sadness and grief, to recognize that all of these are human experiences, and that we should not push aside the difficult things, the boring things, so that we can spend more time in happiness and joy. I think that if we don't spend more time in the emotions that are not as socially acceptable, not as rosy, that we really miss out on life, and that we won't notice that time that we might have really appreciated touching the hand of the person taking the ticket from us. Thanks everyone. Thanks Siffy. Thanks Irma. Sybil says, my dad died after an operation before I could use the words, I love you. I always loved and hugged Dad, but not said I love you out loud. I always tell people I love them now. Well, it's really touching. Thanks, Sybil. Thanks for sharing. Siffy says, grief is the first thing when comes to mind. There's a lot of people who pass on my side recently. Just spoke to my aunt saying, we never know when our tomorrow. Let's spend time together as much as possible. Thanks, Siffy. All right. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining here today. I'm happy to be here. It's a special practice. Okay, let's. I'll be back on. On Tuesday. Tuesday, we've got some more mindfulness and poetry coming up. It's another interesting one to go through. The poem "Kindness" by Naomi Shihab Nye. This is a. Well, anyway, we'll get to that when we get to that. So come back. Let's chat again on Tuesday as we explore more on kindness and compassion and our mindfulness practice. Let's close our practice the way that we do, by sending some well wishes to ourselves and to everyone else, especially perhaps today, especially to the strangers out in the world. So repeat after me if you like. May I be happy and peaceful. May everyone here today, watching, listening, wherever you are, I wish you all happiness and peace. And may all human beings, everyone everywhere on this planet, may we all be happy and peaceful. Thanks so much. Take care. I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.